Hi my loves, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I would like to welcome you. Please stick around, don't be a stranger, and consider subscribing. If this is not your first time here, you already know the drill, you guys. You better be subscribed, honey. So on today, guys, this is day 3 of my real estate journey, guys. It is, what is today? Today is Saturday, April the 25th. It is 8:56 a.m. My class starts at 9. I already have everything set up right here. You see my book, my notebooks to keep notes, and right here I have all of the PowerPoints that the professor provided us with while we're in class. So this is 189 pages, and I'm gonna follow along here, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do things in my book. I'm gonna go highlight things in my book and make notes in my book. But I found that it was easier to follow along with the, excuse me guys, I found that it was easier to follow along with the PowerPoint. So guys, let me go ahead and get signed in because my classmates are already talking, and I have 5 minutes to sign in. So let me go ahead and get signed in, and we will get this show on the road, guys.
Teams crashed on Sunday. That was a little disheartening, I guess. It was a little frustrating, certainly a little frustrating on my end. So let's regroup here this morning. So hopefully you're all having a good day so far. It's interesting on my end. I always love when the day starts with spilling coffee. That's sad. But here we are. Okay, so we were talking about estates and real property. We're going to finish off this bad boy, and we're going to take it as one section. Is how I like to take it. I like taking estates and real property as one big section. Let's do it chunk, because it's one school of thought. This is not anywhere near ideal. I don't even like to take a break during real estates and real property. And with you guys, we not only took a break, but we took a break of 6 days. 6 days during estates and real property. So I'm going to back up a little bit, and hopefully this set in, and these thoughts of an estate and real property were marinating a little bit. Hopefully they were marinating a little bit so you get to see it. So here's the estate and real property. So estate and real property, there are 2 kinds of estates. There's a freehold estate and a non-freehold estate. Remember, a non-freehold estate we'll deal with much later in Unit 11. A non-freehold estate is about possession, not ownership. Possession, not ownership. A freehold estate is about ownership. Not necessarily possession, but ownership. So there are 2 kinds of a freehold estate. First kind of a freehold estate is a fee simple. Fee simple estate is my first one, fee simple. Then, every time I turn. So fee simple estate is some kind of an ownership. There's 2 kinds of, the first kind is fee simple absolute. Fee simple absolute is by far the best. This is also the most common. This is the best, highest form of ownership is a fee simple estate. You are not limited by time. You are not limited by use. That's the only one. Not limited by time, not limited by use. Now I got a fee simple to feasible. Fee simple to feasible means it can be what? Defeated. It can be defeated. Fee simple to feasible can be defeated. Now, in a fee simple to feasible, I got 2 kinds that can be defeated. The first one can be defeated because you can't see. Good question. Thank you. You should be able to see all the PowerPoint. So, that's what we need, more issues today. So I got a fee simple to feasible. Fee simple to feasible says the grantor who gives over the property gets to determine, fee simple determinable, The grantor who gives over the property determines the one purpose it's used for. You've got one purpose. What is it going to be used for? Fee simple to feasible. It's determinable. Grantor says you've got to do A. You cannot do B through Z.
Right.
You've got to do A. You can't do B through Z. We don't care what it is, but they get to say it, and only they get to say it.
Yeah.
Then I've got fee simple subject to conditions subsequent. This is where the grantor who gives over the property says, I don't want you to do A. I don't want you to do A. There's something I don't like.
Right.
I don't want you to do A. You can do anything else that you want under the sun. You can do B through Z. I don't care what you do to the land or the property. I don't care as long as you don't do A.
Yeah.
Now, fee simple determinable, you have to do A, cannot do B through Z. If you do anything but A, if you do anything but the thing I determined you can't use it for, you lose the land
property.
Automatically. It's an automatic reversion. We don't need to do anything, and I get the land back, or my heirs, or somebody that I decide.
Right.
They get the land back as a fee simple estate, as a fee simple absolute, and it is an automatic reversion. A fee simple subject to conditions subsequent, if you do A through Z, who cares? But as long as you don't do A.
Right.
If you do A, you're going to lose the land. But in order for you to lose the land, what do I have to do? I've got to take you to court.
Right.
I've got to take you to court and sue you in order to get that land, that property back. Now, the opposite, so they're kind of opposites to each other. Then we got into life estates. This was interesting. Life estate, and unfortunately, this is where teams crashed. So a life estate is, we've got a conventional life estate and a life estate pure observation.
Right.
So the two big people that are important in a life estate are whom? They are the life tenant. I give the life tenant the property, and the measuring life. The measuring life is the life that we're measuring the ownership by.
Right.
So the life tenant gets the property only as long as
The measuring life is alive.
the measuring life is alive.
Right.
So I give the property to the life tenant while the measuring life is alive. So the first one was a conventional life estate. Conventional life estate, the key to that one is the life tenant and the measuring life are the same people. Same people. So that one is not an inheritable estate. You can't leave that one to your heirs. Why? Well, it just makes sense. Because if you were the life tenant, you can't leave it to your heirs, because the second you're the measuring life and the life tenant, the second the measuring life dies, which is you, that's when you would leave something to your heirs. So you can't do it. Because the second you die, you lose the right to leave it to your heirs. Measuring life, conventional life estate, measuring life, life tenant are the same people. The same people. Then we've got pure auchery. Pure auchery means what? For the life of another.
Yeah.
Pure auchery means life of another. So the key to that one is the measuring life and the life tenant are two different people. They're two different people. The measuring life and the life tenant are two different people. Pure auchery means for the life of another. So the measuring life is given, the life tenant is given the property as long as the measuring life, a different person is alive. So it can.
Okay, my loves, so we are on a 15-minute break. It is 9:45. We will resume at 10. So today started off amazing. It's going amazing so far. I know we just been in this thing for 45 minutes, but in this 45 minutes we have received a lot of information. And look who's back there listening to my class. Say hey, Sweet Pea.
Hi.
That's my Miss Nana. Come say hello. Come say hello. Come.
Hi.
Are you listening to my class?
Yeah.
So guys, I hope that this video isn't cloudy with me sitting in here. Sometimes when I do my videos on the inside, and I don't know why, I don't know what I be having my stuff set on, but my video be so cloudy. But when I'm looking at it now, I'm looking at my screen, and my screen isn't cloudy, but when I look at my playback, it be cloudy. So hopefully it's not cloudy, guys. But so for this first 45 minutes, we've been discussing ownership of real property. It's putting a lot of things in perspective. I learned some things that I thought that if you're married, if certain things happen, what the spouses would receive, what they wouldn't receive. Totally wrong. In the state of North Carolina, I was totally wrong. So I learned some stuff about that, which was great information. You know, we left off talking about tenancy in common, which is a lot of great information. A lot of the things are common sense. However, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. So really great information. So like I said, I only have a 45-minute break, and I've been talking to you guys for about 2 of them. Excuse me, I only have a 15-minute break, and I've been talking to you guys for about 2 of them. So I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna use the restroom, and at the next break I'll be back, guys, to tell you how everything is going, to give you my opinions, to tell you what we're talking about. So yeah, we're on our second break for today. It is 10:45. We have to be back at 11. We're still talking about the same thing. This is a huge unit, so we're going to be covering it for the majority of the day, he said. So, and it is ownership on real property. So we're going to be discussing this the majority of the day, if not all day. This is a lot of great information. I am really getting it and understanding it. I'm taking a lot of great notes. I'm so glad I printed his PowerPoints, because the PowerPoints are easier to follow than the book. And there are several things that when the book was printed that was correct that aren't correct anymore. So I'm taking all my great notes in the PowerPoint. I am highlighting some stuff in the book, but not as much as I'm writing in my notes. So every time he puts those PowerPoints there, I'm definitely going to print them, and I'm going to use these as my study guides, because he's hitting the points that we really need to know for the state exam, for the federal exam, and just to be great agents. So yeah, guys, I will be back after the next break, and we will discuss it more.
Nail holes, that's it. If I want to paint the wall, I gotta get permission. It's not my wall. I don't own the wall. I only own the air. And that's going to be a very important distinction when we get to townhouses. Good question. Because we're going to put in a distinction for when we get to townhouses. Yeah, that's pretty big. Because in a condo, whatever the air touches, that's what I own. Nothing else. I can't even paint the wall because it's not mine. It's not. So in a condo, there's things called common elements and limited common elements. Now, a common element is things that everyone has access to. Stairways, pools, hallways, elevators, maybe a clubhouse, stuff like that. Entrance, that's a common element. A limited common element is that beautiful American philosophy of what we call the upsell. Now, if you ever work retail, you know what an upsell is. Somebody comes in for a basic item, and you upsell them into buying a more advanced item, an extended warranty, an extra this and extra that. That's the upsell. So a limited common element is the upsell. So the condominium might come with a single assigned parking space. Okay, that's cool. But I don't want a single assigned parking space. There's me, my wife, and our 2 children. By the time I want at least 3 parking spaces. I only get 1. So what do I have to do with the other 2 to get 3 assigned parking spaces? I got to buy those. That's called the upsell. That's a limited common element. Or, if I want those parking spaces to be in the parking deck covered, parking garage, so it's covered from the elements, that's an upsell. So that's a limited common element. What's another one that we see a lot of? Oh, storage rooms. So there's not a lot of storage in a condo. So what do we do? They have storage.
We are at lunch. A lot of great information. I am tired because I didn't sleep well last night, but guys, a lot of great information. We are still discussing the same thing. Can't bring me something to drink too. And my man child is fixing me lunch, guys. He fixed me, well, I cooked it, he's just fixing it. He fixed me fish and grits. Let me get comfortable. My back is killing me. So, but like I said, we've been discussing the same thing all day. A whole lot of information. That's just what this unit has been about. We've been discussing how things have changed in North Carolina since the textbook was printed. We've been discussing how North Carolina don't recognize same-sex married couples when it comes to real estate, which sucks. I mean, you love who you love, but whatever. But yeah, so we are rocking and rolling. No, what you doing? All right, lunch is over. It is 12:59 and we're about to get back started. I took me a little cat nap, y'all. Took me a little nappy nap. Waiting on some of my classmates to come in.
Alright, we're all getting back into this fun stuff. Excuse me. So, left off, we got a little bit more work to do here before we go into encumbrances. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish off these concurrent ownerships, these community ownerships, these hybrids. We're going to finish these off, then we're going to jump gears a little bit before we get into Unit 3, which is encumbrances on real property. Unit 3 is a big one. Encumbrances are on a big one. So we've got to spend some time on that. We'll see how we hit on we'll keep an eye on the clock. See how we hit on that thing. So let's look at this one. So townhouses is where we left off. Because a townhouse, I actually own the house. I have a deed to the house. So I own the house. And with this ownership of the house, I've got the surface of the the land, I've got the subsurface, and I've got the airways. That's my townhouse. Woo. I've got a deed to the house, either in severalty, tenants in common, tenancy by the entirety, and then I've got ownership in the rest of the property as tenants in common. It's got to be tenants in common because I don't have unity of time with the other owners. So there's our townhouses. Then we've got timeshares. Wow. Timeshares are big.
Mm-hmm.
Timeshares are big. They were really, really big in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. We thought they went away for a little while. They are back. Here are the rules of five. So timeshares, it's all what we call the rule of fives. So the definition of a timeshare is the right to occupy real property 5 times over 5 years. There's our definition. Timeshare is using a real property 5 times over 5 years. Now, the trick question they'll ask you on this one and the state exam is it a timeshare if you're using it 10 times over 10 years? The answer is no. That's not the definition for a timeshare, because you could put all of your 10 uses in that 10th year. So therefore, it doesn't qualify. Timeshare by statute and definition is 5 times over 5 years. Don't lose that. 5 times over 5 years. Now, it's an interest in real property. Now, we say these used to be in resort areas. Yeah, that's really not so much anymore. So, the timeshare company is going to have timeshares all over the place. Yeah, are they going to have timeshares in Aruba and Acapulco and the Caribbean? Of course they are. But some of the other areas for timeshares in our area, Concord Mills. Concord Mills has a lot of timeshares around it. So I don't really think about that as a resort area, but it is. It's anywhere people are going to go in vacation. They're one of the biggest timeshare companies in our area. Most of their timeshares are in Branson, Missouri for the entertainment area. So Branson, Missouri of all places. So timeshares 5 times over 5 years. Now, there's the next 5 is you've got a 5-day right of rescission. Yeah, absolutely, Ebony. Concord Mills, by the way, interesting statistics for Concord Mills. Concord Mills is the #1 tourist attraction in the Carolinas. Concord Mills remains the #1 tourist attraction in the Carolinas. That's crazy to me. When we look at all of the different avenues, when we look at the Travelocity, we look at the Better Business Bureau, we look at AAA, we look at all of the different travel agency statistics. Every single one constantly rates every year. Concord Mills as the #1 tourist attraction in the Carolinas. Not the Outer Banks, not Myrtle Beach, not the mountains. I think that's a sad statement. I just think that's a really sad statement for us. Because let me tell you, if I'm going to go on vacation somewhere, I want to walk out of my vacation home into the mountains and have that beautiful mountain experience. I want to walk out the front door of my vacation home onto the beach. I want one of those locations. What I don't want to do is walk out of my vacation home or my timeshare and step straight onto a parking lot of an outlet mall. That's not what I want. And that's crazy. I've got some friends that have shops, their business owners have shops in Concord Mills. They actually tell me that their busiest shopping time is not when there are races. Because I really thought, well, maybe it's when there's races.
Down at noise.
And they said they're actually busiest when the race is not happening. Crazy. I don't know.
I just think it's a sad statement on our society that that's where we're spending our vacation time. My gosh, it's not even that great a mall. I mean, I can see if I'm going to go in and going to be getting great deals at a true outlet mall. That's not what that is. Absolutely
Hey guys,
not.
we're on a 15-minute break. We started back with real estate math, and according to the instructor, we're going to do a whole lot of real estate math for the rest of today. So let me show you the problem that we just worked out, and we're going to go over it after break, but I'm pretty sure I have it correct. Let me show it to you. All right, hopefully you can read that. It says a house sold for $780,000 at 6% commission. Listing agent advertised a 46% split. Going to the buyer side, the buyer agent gets 78%. When it comes to the split with the buyer agent and the BIC, how much does the BIC get? So, if the house sold for $780,000 and the 6% commission, the total commission is $46,800. The listing side will retain 54%, while the buyer side gets 46%. That 46% breaks down to $21,528. Hold it like this. Yeah, that's much better, guys. And then the buyer agent split with their BIC is 78% and 22%. So since the BIC gets 22%, that $21,528 times that 22%, so that's $4,736.16 for that BIC. So I am going to wait on him to come back, and then I'm gonna set my camera and turn it towards the screen so you guys can see a little of him working it out, and see if you guys can see that. This is what the screen looks like. Can you see it? Some of my classmates' answers are there. Mine is there. We all have the same thing. So when professor comes back, let's see if he also has the same thing. Okay? See him work it out. And he don't see me looking. And let's see. Let's see.
Same on this thing. So, we've got this one. Now, looking at this one, let's add some to this. So we got a house for, so my house times my commission rate is my total commission. $780 times my %6 commission is $46,800. Cool. All right. We got to end out with the buyer's BIC. So the listing agent says 46% is going over there. So the total commission times the buyer side rate is the buyer side commission. Total commission $46,800 times my buyer side rate of 0.46. How much is going over there? Times 0.46 is 21,528. Okay. Here's the one. Here's the only other catch to this one. So think about these. When we do these math, we want to prepare for the hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So we want to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. How are they going to tweak this one to make it a little bit more difficult? They just made it up one more step. So if I've got the buyer side rate times the BIC, so the buyer side commission, times the BIC rate equals the BIC
commission. Okay, buyer side is 21,528. What is the BIC commission rate? Okay, well the buyer's agent's keeping 78. So the BIC is getting what? 22%. Because 22% is 100 minus 78. So I know I've got 21,528 times my 0.22 equals 4,736.16, which is just what almost all of us got. Cool. I'm just scrolling through here, checking answers. Cool. So we're all with, yeah.
So that's what I got, my loves. So
4736.16.
I'm gonna see what the next problem looks like.
Let's go a little bit harder.
Oh.
This one is another way they can ask this question.
And this is the same thing, just flip to the other side. Let me show it to you. And I'm gonna work this out.
A buyer that purchased a home.
See that?
For $888.
So I'm gonna work that out. Let me do this way. I'm gonna work that out, and then I'll be back. And if we get to some that are more difficult, which he said we're supposed to, I'll show those to you guys, because these are fairly simple. Fairly simple. So I'll be back if we get to some more difficult one, guys. So we are done with class for today. I know that I said I was going to come back on and show you guys some more examples, because he said that he was going to give us some difficult examples. However, what he gave us, guys, I understood it. It wasn't difficult to me. So, because what I wanted to do was, I wanted to show you guys how it changed up and how it got difficult. And so I didn't record because I understood it. So much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Come on, look beautiful. She's coming down. Hey. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Remember to stay humble, my loves, and I will see you guys in the next video.